The time has come. The stage is set in Sioux Falls, South Dakota for the quarterfinal playoff game between the Sioux Falls Sparrows and the Charleston Predators. Andy Hamilton on the call along with Dan Daly. Dan, well, now's the time of the year when you win or go home. All the chips are in the middle of the table. Both teams are all in, and only one team can come away with a victory today.
It's the playoffs, baby. Andy, I'm expecting a great one coming out here. You know, number 3, number 6 in the quarterfinals. It should be a great one. You've seen the stats showing up right here. Very, very similar with a few key differences right now. Charleston's defense is edging in front of Sioux Falls. The Sioux Falls offense is on top. Let's see who comes on top in this great quarterfinal game.
Chilly game today, weather between 32 and 34 degrees. We were watching the snow to see if that would be a factor. Unfortunately, precipitation will not be taking place during this game. It is very humid, and we are here live from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Population 183,883. And if I had to fathom a guess, Dan, a lot of them are very interested in seeing how these Sioux Falls Sparrows play. Their last time in the playoffs was in Season 12, where they lost to Denver in the opening round. They have the Charleston Predators today, who, believe it or not, took them down earlier in the year. And when we look at the team comparison, they're fairly close, and that turnover differential, Dan, is something to keep an eye on.
Definitely. We have people in the secondary and both teams facing heavy on the attack. I'm expecting to see at least 1 or 2 picks from each team out here today.
Sioux Falls is wearing the black and yellow if you are new to the Simulation Football League. Charleston wearing white and blue. Kick is away, and we are rolling in the quarterfinal. Return here coming out to the 20-yard line, and that is where the Charleston Predators will set up. Lance DeLake, the return man, will bring TD Drew's offense out onto the field at the 20-yard line. Drew completing 66% of his passes this season, and Charleston has a good back in the backfield, and Keith Swearingen as well. We'll get to the rest of the offense in a minute. First down, they will line up with 2 receivers to the bottom of the screen. Offsides on the first play of the game. TD Drew going to fire outside, and that one, Simons hauled it in. They're going to have to take a look and see if he got his feet in bounds, and we'll see what Ref 62 has to say, depending on whether or not that the penalty is accepted. They are going to accept that, so he was out of bounds.
Yeah, very interesting start to our quarterfinal playoffs game right there. Not how you want things to start out, though. You know, early offsides, giving them a free play. Luckily, they didn't come out with anything crazy.
And for TD Drew, important for him to stay today. The Charleston offense 3-0 when TD Drew does not throw an interception. First give to Swearingen of the day. He has stood up and dropped right in the middle of the field, and we'll take a look at this Charleston offense. Drew, the quarterback, along with Keith Swearingen, Ken McCarno, and Buchanan Simons are the weapons. Lyric Da Vinci and Jay Taylor, the tight ends. Amanda Moyer, the kicker, and 3 offensive linemen, generic players, Shepard, Volkarian, Nate Garner, and Butch Menor round out this offensive unit. Second down carry for Swearingen is good for 2 more yards up to the 27. And this Sioux Falls defense brings up a 3rd and 3. A.J. Levy leads the way along with James Kelly, Jonathan Camp, Alex Parker, Jose Fuentes, Nick Fargo are the linebackers. John Barnhart, Terrell Davis, and Jay Ringgold are the defensive backs. And Cam Frosby is another member of this defensive unit trying to slow down this Charleston offense. 3rd and 3. They need to get to the 30. Drew drops to throw, fires underneath, caught by the tight end. And that will move the chains for Charleston. Lyric Da Vinci with the catch.
Charleston coming out here with 2 rookie tight ends, both in Lyric Da Vinci and Jay Taylor. One, a free agent signing. The other one, the number 5 pick, who you just saw catch the ball with almost 600 yards. That putting him up to a great start right there by Charleston.
TD Drew will give to Swearingen, and Swearingen wrestled down there by Jose Fuentes. Fuentes and Swearingen both playing in their first playoff game today.
Yeah, Swearingen been around for 4 seasons. First time Charleston, as the name brand, Charleston has been able to make it into the playoffs. And Fuentes coming in also in his 4th season, second one with Sioux Falls.
Swearingen, 4.9 yards per carry, able to collect 3 there. 2nd and 7. Deep drop from Drew. Fires out to Swearingen, 5 yards behind the line. And he only gets back to the line of scrimmage before he is wrestled down by Alex Parker.
Yeah, interesting play right there, Andy. Dropping so far back just to check it out to your running back. It's a hard way to make yards unless you're just putting all the pressure on Swearingen right there.
Yeah, it looked like a coverage check down from Drew. This Sioux Falls secondary, not one to be threatened, and they do a good job there. It'll bring up 3rd and 8. 8:21 to go in the first. Drew going to fire underneath for Simons. Caught, but short of the sticks. Sioux Falls rallies, and Nick Fargo brings him down at the 42, and Charleston's drive stalls out.
Yeah, an interesting thing to see, definitely around the linebackers for Sioux Falls, is every single one of them has an interception as linebackers. It really seems like Sioux Falls' entire defense really knows how to get around the ball.
Benjamin Warner on to kick it away for the Charleston Predators. They come in at 8-4. Sioux Falls also at 8-4. We'll have A.J. Levy returning this kick. Levy will try a spin move. He'll go down at the 23, and when it comes to Julian Tyree, most passing yards in SFL history, completing 71% of his career passes for 223 touchdowns. And this is a guy who's not yet in the Hall of Fame, but if I had to imagine, I would imagine he would get there someday.
I can imagine a run through with Sioux Falls through the championships could possibly help that.
It would indeed help. They will start at the 23. Snap back to Tyree, gonna sling one, ooh, and almost take away. Brandon Haight was there, and he's got 1 pick this year, almost made it 2. Julian Tyree leads the way along with Colin Hart and Jalen Wells in the run game. A.J. Warren, Gunnar Lewis, and Al Dillapre Sr., along with Noe Terrazas, are the receiving threats. Maxwell Falk, the kicker for Sioux Falls, rounds out this offensive unit. Falk, 94% this season in the kicking game, and they will try and get some offense going and see if they even need to bring him out. 2nd and 10. They give to Wells up the middle. Wells found an opening, but not for long. Able to pick up 2 before Jack Brown rallies him down. This Charleston defense, Yogi Barr, Jeff Hollywood, and Joseph Sabolka are the defensive linemen. Brandon Haight, Johnny Bravo, Caledon Holly, Josh Reese, Zachary Bates, and Jack Hoffman are the backs. And Jack Brown, interestingly enough, the only player in this game who has a championship ring. Tyree fires, tipped up and incomplete. Their drive will stall out as well.
Yeah, just in traffic right there. Predators swarming around that ball, and we have 2 quick 3-and-outs, really. Charleston picking up a first down, but not moving past there. And really, as we said, defense is going to be a huge gameplay in this ball.
And so they will send on their punter, who will kick this one away. Max Moho on 6'2", 215, stands at his own 9-yard line. Both defenses coming out and starting early. Kick is away from Moho. And the return will be brought here by Dulake out to the 40-yard line, and Charleston will set up on offense for the second time. Buchanan Simons, that is, a career high in touchdowns receiving, and they got him involved a little bit on the first drive.
Yeah, Buchanan Simons coming over from Chicago with 10 touchdowns on the season, averaging 18.0 yards per reception. That's a deep ball, man, right there.
They have been getting him involved, and they, if I had to fathom a guess, would try to do so today. Here is Drew, gonna float one, caught for the first down. Jay Taylor moves the chains. That's just his 38th catch of the season.
Yeah, that right there, Andy, we've seen both tight ends get involved very early in the game. I think Mr. Mike Daggs would be very happy with the Charleston game plan so far.
2 tight ends for this Charleston offense, and they like to use them in various ways, and it does give you a lot more options to keep star players on in terms of formations. Give here to Swearingen. Ooh, he met A.J. Levy, and that collision might have been heard all the way through the stadium.
Yeah, A.J. Levy coming into this game with over 100 total tackles, and you know he's a scary 6'1" man with 9 seasons under his belt.
A.J. Levy, the veteran, leading this defense. Here on second, they give to Swearingen. He's demolished in the backfield. Defense was coming fast. Jose Fuentes got to him.
Yeah, Sioux Falls really knows they were going to throw Keith Swearingen when it was coming close. Seems they've been able to read the game plan so far and just bringing the house down on him.
That will line them up for 3rd and 8 here at the 47, well outside of Amanda Moyer's range. They're going to need a first down here to keep this drive alive. 3-4 look at a Sioux Falls defense. Drew going to try and sling it. Stands in the pocket, fires to a wide open Jay Taylor. Another first down for the tight end. 2 catches on this drive for him.
Jay Taylor coming into the playoffs with only 37 receptions in his entire career, already picking up 2 in a single drive, Andy. It seems like Charleston came out with a very interesting game plan. It's working out for them.
First down at the 39. Just over 5 minutes to go in this quick-moving first quarter. Drew, a 7-step drop. Going to fire underneath. Caught. Both tight ends were right there. And Jay Taylor, in this first quarter, they're going to have to give him a new nickname, and it's going to have to be the Magnet.
You know, it definitely seems like there's some kind of force right there, Andy. Between TD Drew, there's just some kind of connection. It's definitely a north to south one.
And these linebackers here for Sioux Falls, you mentioned earlier, have the interceptions. Not really an area you would think to test. They'll go to Swearingen right up the gut again. This time he falls forward for a 4-yard pickup, and you look at his average, not anything to be amazed with just yet, but Swearingen with 13 touchdowns on the season is really a grinder at the halfback position.
Yeah, you'll see him just push through and keep pushing until he gets a long one out of him, and that will be the one to burn him.
Drew is under center. Lone back is Swearingen. They give to him right up the middle on 3rd and 1, and he has plenty of room. First down to the 20 with 4 minutes to go in the first. This Charleston drive is looking promising.
That's exactly what they needed and what I was just talking about. That right there, a dive right down the middle, and he just breaks through. You know, hands touching him, he doesn't care. Still takes 2 Sparrows to wrap him up. Keith Swearingen getting a great run in him.
They call him the Cheetah. They might have to change his nickname to the Rhino, the way that he's barreling down the middle and over defenders. Got a little bit of bite on the front end of this rushing attack for Charleston. They've been doing it right up the middle, and so far it's been working. Drew, 7-step drop again. Going to fire a deep shot here. It's incomplete. Was trying to find Simons, who laid out for it. Could not collect.
Yeah, interesting going with just the split back right there. Only 2 deep receivers out there, and with the secondary Sioux Falls has, that's a risky move when you have people like AJ Levy in the backfield. You see number 34 right there, Terrell Davis, covering Buchanan Simons wonderfully.
Davis, 8 pass deflections on the year, playing as well in his first career playoff game. Terrell Davis gets involved early there. Welcome to the playoffs, young fella. 2 receivers wide for Charleston. 2nd and 10 from the 20. 4-step drop, fires the out route there, caught for 2 yards. Possibly some of the toughest 2 yards that Ken Maccaro has ever caught. His first playoff game as well.
Ken Maccaro, 2nd season with Charleston, coming over from London. The out route didn't really work out for him as they had to pull back from it. Out and down is not what you're hoping when it's not a blinds.
Twins, top of the formation here for Charleston. 4 down linemen, 3 linebackers for Sioux Falls. Swearingen the lone back. Here is Drew, going to fire on the corner route. Oh, for Simons, and it's incomplete. Buchanan Simons so far has been blanketed. That was Jay Ringgold in coverage.
I think all Sioux Falls can ask for is forcing Charleston into long 3rd down situations where they have to throw it deeper out there, and that's all their secondary wants because they're eating it up right now.
Amanda Moyer will come on for the field goal. She has hit on 87% of her field goal attempts this season, and she will line this one up to try and give Charleston the early lead. Kick on the way, and that is good from 35 yards. The Predators jump out in front. It's the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports and for the fans in the quarterfinal. We'll be right back. Welcome back in, and happy Sunday to you from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. This is the Simulation Football League. These are the playoffs, and this is the quarterfinals between the Charleston Predators of South Carolina and the Sioux Falls Sparrows of South Dakota. Return here from A.J. Levy will be brought out past the 20 to the 24, and that is where we will set up this Sioux Falls offense. But looking at the quarterfinals right now, Sioux Falls and Charleston, the 3 and the 6 seeds. Next, Vancouver will take on the Jacksonville Kings in Vancouver, British Columbia, the 4 and the 5 seeds. And next Wednesday, Atlanta and Chicago and Baltimore and Queen City will continue the quarterfinals. Plenty of SFL action right here on 11 Sports. And for the fans, we are glad to provide some sporting entertainment for you throughout these times. Hand off to Wells up the middle. He will pick up 4, and the fullback for Sioux Falls getting involved.
Yeah, they gave it to him in their first drive, and now it seems like they're trusting him with it again, trying to mix it up with their fullback. 143 carries for 459 yards is not bad for the rookie. See if they get some Colin Hart mixed up in there as well.
3.2 yards per carry is Wells' average throughout the season. Today they have got him involved early. Tyree going to sling it out of the backfield to Colin Hart. Hart, trying to find the edge, will only pick up 4.
It's looking like the first drive Sioux Falls had. So far, the drives besides Charleston's last one have not been very eventful. 19-2, and this one only making up to 8 yards so far. Charleston's scoring drive was 11 plays for 45 yards. It took them a little bit of pounding down the field for them to even make it in field goal range.
Here is the handoff, left side to Hart with room. Colin Hart will take it, the longest play of Sioux Falls' offensive possessions today. He's out to the 45.
Yeah, it turned the inside handoff into looking like a stretch play right there, going all the way out there, just angling himself out there till 45 was able to bring him down in the secondary. Good job right there by Colin Hart.
You can only hope to keep Colin Hart contained for so long, one of the league's most dynamic backs, and he gets going there early. Before that play, Sioux Falls had just 14 yards of offense. That one is good for a first down. Give to Hart again, off tackle. Hart will fall forward for 5, and that is going to be the struggle for this Charleston linebacking unit, is to keep him in check.
Yeah, when you're coming into a game averaging 6.3 yards a carry, that is some great average rushing yards. So great, in fact, that it's second in the league right now.
Last time these two teams played, 21 carries and 68 yards for Hart. They'll string it out to him again. Stopped in the backfield and brought down. Jack Hoffman, the strong safety, coming up to make that play.
Hoffman coming into the game with 95 total tackles and then bringing it down. I thought it was the backfield too. Oh, no, they did mark it 3 and 6. My bad. I just couldn't read that. Dropping them for a yard. 3rd and 6, setting them for some interesting position right at midfield.
This Charleston defense, number 2 against the run. They are showing why on that last play. It'll leave Tyree in an empty gun. Fires, caught underneath. Nice play to the open receiver. They were able to find Turgeon James for the first down to the 44.
Yeah, Julian Tyree, the veteran, knowing to look for everything on the field. He saw a quick cross down the middle for the first down, and he took it, keeping this drive alive when they needed it. Now it's whipping up to be a real drive as the first quarter is already coming to a close, Andy.
That will take us down to the end of the first quarter. It has been quick. Both offenses struggling against tough defensive units. 3-0 Charleston on top of Sioux Falls. Don't go anywhere. Simulation Football League quarterfinal action. 11 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Charleston on top of Sioux Falls here in South Dakota. The home team Sparrows driving. Here's the give to Wells, and he is stood up and dropped. Jack Brown met him there. Brown has 5 playoff seasons worth of experience, a Season 9 Mexico City championship ring on his finger, and a drop at the line of scrimmage there.
Yeah, 6 seasons is a decent long-term veteran right there. 104 total tackles coming into this game as well. He knows how to get around the ball, Andy.
2.5 sacks as well. Here's the give up the middle to Hart. Or no, excuse me, that was Wells as well. And Wells will pick up another 3 or 4 yards. And you can just tell Sioux Falls is trying to get Jalen Wells more involved here early.
Wells pulling up the water of life right there, moving down and doing well for himself.
It's going to be one of those days, huh?
Always.
Shotgun look here for Julian Tyree. Tyree will look to throw. A little bit of a low snap. He corralled it. Fires deep. Tipped up and incomplete. Coverage was there by Jack Hoffman. His 7th pass deflection of the year. And the Sparrows drive stalls out.
Sparrows are lucky that was not an interception, almost making it his 8th. He already has a pick 6 on the season. With some decent runaround, he could have made it a second one, as there was no one in his immediate area right there. Great stand-up defense by the Predators, and we're seeing Sioux Falls punt it away.
I think that was the first play for Sioux Falls, deeper than probably 11, 12 yards through the air. Last time they were out, faced Josh Reese, as this punt will be down beautifully right at the 2 or 3 yard line. Oh, they're marking at the 5, but that's still deep down. But what I was getting to there, Dan, was that, they really don't want to test this secondary. Josh Reese had a pick 6 against them last time these two teams faced off, and they will try and keep him and this secondary in check. And Charleston is going to try and do the same against a very tough secondary in Sioux Falls. Handoff up the middle, Swearingen. Ooh, the C parts, and Swearingen out to the 16 and 11-yard carry.
Don't need to test the secondary, Andy, when you're going to blow through the line with Swearingen right there. Don't need a pod when you got a single great cheetah busting through, not even contested at the line. Secondary doing a great job, though, of cleaning it up after you got the first down.
Swearingen, one of the, I would say, least spoken about backs who are consistently at the top in terms of yardage across his career. Definitely underrated and definitely someone to keep an eye on today. 5-step drop. Here's Drew. Gonna air it out. Oh, Simons! How do you not collect that one? A little bit of jitters from the fella who could not haul it in.
Oh, my God, that was wide open right there. It must be some quarterfinal playoff jitters right there. He would have been gone. No contest, touchdown, but instead we're at a 2nd and 10.
Simons has been targeted 4 times, only 1 catch so far today. Got to get over that. Give to Swearingen, blown up in the backfield. Nick Fargo was right there. And when we look at the last time these two teams faced off, Dan, it was right here in Sioux Falls.
Yeah, Charleston pulling ahead by 10 points and also leading the series 2-1. You're seeing right there, Swearingen getting involved. 19 carries for 82 yards and 2 touchdowns. Not huge on the yardage or carries, but 2 touchdowns. He punched it in. And you see Gunnar Lewis, the wide receiver, with 106 yards and 1 touchdown with only 8 receptions. Some big yardage for them. Swearingen just doing the good punch-in for Charleston.
That was back in week 5. Things have obviously changed a lot for both teams since then. Here's Drew, going to fire on the out route to Simons. Made up for it. First down there. Not necessarily makes up fully for a touchdown, but continues this drive. What a catch.
I was going to say, Eddie, that doesn't make up for a missed easy touchdown, though. It does give a good start to it. Barely picking up the first down on a great out route, though. He's just stepped over the line, really showing some great state of mind right there. I guess he gave himself a good old slap after an easy drop pass.
Simons has some playoff experience coming over from Chicago, so not his first playoff game as it is for some of these other Charleston players. Here is Swearingen. Fights his way for 4 yards is the only way to describe that, because he really had to hunker down.
Yeah, he was pushing through the murky waters right there. Hard to see through all the black uniforms right there, but he got 4, so he made something.
That will set them up for 2nd and 6 at the 31. Andy Hamilton along with Dan Daly, and Mikey Improda is on stats for us today. Here's the give up the middle to Swearingen. Swearingen driving will set them up at the 35. Now they're going to go hurry up. One in the backfield. Drew going to throw for this one. Fires underneath. In and out of the hands of Jay Taylor. Coverage was there from Nick Fargo, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Jay Taylor, who had 28 yards so far on 3 for 3. Now he's 3 for 4. That is not the one he would have dropped, though, because now they're at 4th and 2. I doubt they're going to go for it because there's nothing really pressuring them. They're in a not very comfortable lead, but they are 3-0, punting it away at their own 35. Quick and great stop by Sioux Falls right there.
Punter is on. Benjamin Warner will kick this one away with a 3-0 lead. Sioux Falls came after it, did not get there. Charleston going to field Levy will field this one. Charleston will wrap him up at the 27. Tied in a defensive battle. Charleston has the slight edge at 3-0. We'll be right back. It's the SFL playoffs on 11 Sports and For the Fans. Simulation Football League playoffs, quarterfinal action back here in Sioux Falls. The Charleston Predators and the Sioux Falls, the Sioux Falls Sparrows here in South Dakota. Excuse me, jumbling over my words a little bit. 1st and 10 at the 27-yard line as the Sparrows take over. Wells up the middle, and Shadow White 59 in the chat says, explain to me something. Can anyone participate in this league, but what do? Do they manage the team? Well, there's quite a few things you can do. You can become a player in this league, as one of the players here on the field, a lot of the players, are represented by real people in the chat right now watching their games at twitch.tv/FTF. Next, you can become a team owner, a coach. You could do stats like Mikey and Proto. You could become a broadcaster. You could become a beat writer. There's tons of things to do in the Simulation Football League, tons of opportunity, and all you have to do to jump on that opportunity is join our Discord community by heading over to simulationfl.net or www.simulation.football on your computer or mobile device. We look forward to meeting you in the Discord server. Shotgun look here. Quick 3rd and 9 as Wells took that last carry up the middle. Tyree going to air one out on the corner route. Caught! The catch is made at the 49-yard line, and it's going to be a 1st down as Gunnar Lewis hauls it in.
I feel like Gunnar Lewis was looking, Buchanan Simons right in the eye as he was making that catch, saying, I can make these. Now you got to make them too, as he's getting right down to midfield. And now Sioux Falls is moving. They're moving quick.
In the playoffs, every play could be the difference maker, and that catch from Lewis moves the drive. They're going to go 5 wide again. Here's Tyree, going to fire down the middle of the field, caught down to the 22. This Sparrows offense is flying high. A.J. Warren makes the grab.
Andy, we were talking about earlier before the break how, Sioux Falls has been playing super conservatively, nothing crazier than like 11-yard slant. Right now, they're just back to back, down the middle, on the outside, cut it for the fade. They don't care. They just want to move downfield and quick for points.
Kaladin Hawley makes the catch in the middle of the field, and Julian Tyree says to his coach, line it up again. We're going 5 wide again. Tyree to the corner. Caught! Touchdown, Sioux Falls! Batten down the hatches. Get the gunner. Lewis has 6.
Back to back deep passes. 2 of them right there, Gunnar Lewis. Great touchdown right there for Julian Tyree. Makes him his 224th career touchdown right there. And they're moving quick, and it's the playoffs where it matters. Watch out, Sioux Falls has the lead.
The Sparrows offense starts going 5 wide, Dan, and that's really what set this up. Once they went 5 wide, Tyree just really, as Doug Day says in the chat, sliced and diced this defense.
Yeah, no, just adding weapons out there, making sure not everyone can be covered.
Kick is on the way, and that is good. It'll be 7-3. The Sparrows hit the skies and convert for points. We'll be right back. Here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, the Sparrows drive down the field and take the lead with a touchdown to Gunnar Lewis. Now Charleston will get the ball back. Kick is on the way, and Dulake will field this one, bring it out of the end zone. A little bit of a bold move for him. He will make the 20-yard line and get 1 extra yard. I don't know if it was worth it or not, but at safety, these 2 guys, Josh Reese and A.J. Levy, really killing the game.
Yeah, Josh Reese having a beautiful interception last time these 2 teams faced off. And Charleston's, 2 for 5 every time he has an interception. So they're 5 for 2, my bad, other way. But it works out for them, and he has 2 touchdowns with his 4th for the league tied.
Obviously, Levy as well, one of the better defensive players in the league, always someone to look out for. TD Drew, fire underneath, caught to the tight end, good for 6. Jay Taylor, it's almost like they highlighted him on the play sheet and went, we have a mismatch this week.
Yeah, no, they were looking at film or something, and they were like, every time their secondary tight end moves out, they just leave him wide open. They circled him, dotted him, highlighted him, got a big old projector and did it again, and they put him out and making him work.
4-3 look for Sioux Falls, really loading the box against this 2-receiver set. Here's the handoff to Swearingen. Swearingen found an angle to pick up the first down. Did you see him in the hole there, Dan? Shift and move in order to find the right spot and opening.
Yeah, no, he found it right there, moving through the B-hole and moving around the linebackers after that, and, picking up the first down. And watch out, Charleston's now moving downfield.
Now Charleston going to go 4 wide against a 3-4 out of Sioux Falls. Interesting here. TD Drew, pressure coming, unloads, and it's caught. Swearingen, the receiver, picks up 9. Halfback and receiver, dual threat.
I would say so, Andy. And gotta throw it up to TD Drew right there under immense pressure. It was about to be sacked, and he got it away, seeing his halfback open for an easy 9. Now they're 2nd and 1.
2 receivers, top of the formation. Here on 2nd and a yard, Swearingen in the backfield. They will give up the middle. Swearingen walks forward for the first. Still on his feet. Down to the 47. Solid run.
These cheetahs got claws.
Got some claw and some fight in him, that's for sure. Give to Swearingen again. That time wrestled down by Nick Fargo. Twins again. They're going to go hurry up. Drew, 7-step drop. Fires underneath for the tight end. Caught. Lyric Da Vinci up to the 39.
Keeping up and hurry up, putting the pressure on Sioux Falls on their defensive game plan.
2 receivers wide. Here's Drew going to throw again. Pressure coming. Has to unload. Caught. Jay Taylor again with a first down grab.
This offensive game plan for the rookie secondary tight end Jay Taylor is something I don't think I've ever seen before in this league, and it is working out beautifully for Charleston right now as they're just making their way downfield at Sioux Falls' own 30.
Shadow White 69 says he's watching from Portugal. Hello and welcome. Drew fires underneath here for Swearingen, dropped behind the line of scrimmage. It almost seems like Sioux Falls has Nick Fargo shadowing Keith Swearingen. Every time Swearingen takes a run or a catch, Fargo is there.
I mean, that would be a good game plan if they were coming to this game, and I saw Keith Swearingen's number and how he gets around the field.
4-3 look out of Sioux Falls again. Drew under center. Swearingen offset to the left. They will throw. Here is the check underneath the Swearingen. Lowers the helmet and picks up 4 or 5. It'll be 3rd and 7.
After a curl-esque route, I don't think Swearingen really knew what to do. He took the upward path, but kind of just did it in a roundabout way, being brought down by a swarm of 3 Sparrows. Now they're 3rd and 7, forcing them on a longer pass if they want to keep this drive alive. That's not fun with A.J. Levy in the backfield.
Offset to the left. 2 tight ends on the field for Charleston. 3-4 look out of the Sparrows, but they will bring us to the 2-minute warning prior to any of that happening. And we will take a short break. Charleston and Sioux Falls going back and forth. Defenses trying to battle. We'll be right back on 11 Sports and For the Fans. Third and 7 will face these Sioux Falls Sparrows, and the Sioux Falls Sparrows defense and the Charleston Predators offense here. From the 28, Drew is under center and will throw. They will flip it out. Swearingen, open field, hit! He's got it though. A.J. Levy lays the wood, but Swearingen is able to extend the football past that imaginary line.
They grab that foot right on there. Great effort right there by Keith Swearingen and A.J. Levy coming off number 68, or my bad, coming off from the secondary as the cover 2 and just dropped him. But I'm surprised they gave him that tiny extra inch right there, Andy, for the first down.
Dennis Gate out there, the tackle, was leading the way there with the block. Snap here for Drew, stands in the pocket, pressure coming, has to unload, tipped up and incomplete. Simons was hit after that play there by Jay Ringgold. This secondary is just peppering Buchanan Simons with hits and pressure and coverage.
You know, I think A.J. Levy, Ringgold, they all looked at Buchanan Simons the game, doing the 2 eyes to the eyes, the cross, I'm watching you, because they are. They're not leaving his side. They're sticking to him like glue.
2nd and 10 from the 20. 1:27 to go here in the second. For Charleston, they find themselves down by 4 early in this game. Short drop here from Drew. Backs up. Fires on the out route. Caught. Jay Taylor again. Going into this, that's Maccaro. Ken Maccaro makes the grab. And I was going to say, even Maccaro, though, is the 3rd leading receiver for Charleston. They are using some unlikely weapons today.
Yeah, today so far, Ken McCarr with 7 yards for 2 receptions, Simons for 19 for 2, Lyric Da Vinci 15 for 2, but then Jen Taylor 43 for 5.
Yeah, the second tight end, not someone you would think. Drew fires incomplete. They were trying to find Simons on a corner route, and it looks like they were just too close to the opposite side of the field. Play made by Terrell Davis.
Yeah, I'm not against throwing in some coverage, but when you got a quarterback like Terrell Davis just covering Buchanan Simons like they've been doing all day today, TD, watch out because that's a dangerous play. And now they're 4th down and probably have to kick it for 3 see if they get Amanda Moyer out on the field and try to just make the lead down to 1.
Simons might have been able, if he would have turned that into a corner post, that might have been 6. Instead, they will have to send out Amanda Moyer to try and cut the score to 1. A touchdown from the Sparrows on their last drive now sets up Charleston with only a field goal attempt here to try and cut into the lead. They cannot overtake it unless it was a fake. It was not. Moyer puts it through from 32. It's 6-7 with 1:16 to go. And Dan, this is kind of what we expected at the top of the broadcast. We said the better defense will win this game, and so far, Sioux Falls, at least through this first half, so far is the better defense.
Yeah, they've been putting great stop outs, and you see the difference in drives. Charleston has 2 scoring drives right now, an 11-play 45-yard field goal and a 14-play 67-yard field goal, while Sioux Falls only has 1 scoring drive, but it's a 5-play 71-yard touchdown drive. You can't really ask for something better than that.
Levy gonna bring it out. He will get to the 21. Sparrows will take over on offense. This Charleston defense, the number 1 defense in points allowed in the SFL. Number 1 against the pass, number 2 against the run, with a +9 turnover differential. They find themselves down 7-6.
And Andy, that could be the huge single difference maker if there is a big turnover in this game. I think that could be the telling winner of this ball game.
Gave up on the last drive, just their 8th passing touchdown of the season. Here's the give to Hart with room. Colin Hart, 9.5 to the 30-yard line before he's brought down by Haight.
Yeah, they gave him just not enough, an inch or 2 off right there. Colin Hart, who averages 6.3 normally, really was almost there, but see if they hand it to him again, or as they've been giving it to Wells a lot in the fullback position, maybe just a quick fullback power move through the middle.
Heavy formation against a nickel look out of the Charleston Predators. 2 in the backfield. Wells, the fullback, gets the carry. Wells has the first down, moving the chains, and Sioux Falls looks confident in taking this 1-point lead to the break.
Wells is enough for the well, and yeah, as you just said, Andy, I think they're going to ride it out. If they keep it on the ground, no risking between these 2 defensive game plans.
This is going to be a weak-eye joker, or a strong-eye jokers, excuse me. They give, and there is a demolishing hit from Jack Brown. He met Wells right at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Jack Brown having his number, the outside linebacker, 2.5 sacks. We mentioned him already. He's been all around the field today.
That will take us to the halftime break. 6-7. Charleston and Sioux Falls going head-to-head, colliding here in South Dakota. And so far, it's a defensive slugfest. Neither team over 160 yards of offense, but Charleston controlling time of possession, just not the final score.
Yeah, right now it's all been about a single splash drive by Sioux Falls. 5 plays for a touchdown is a quick drive, and it was back-to-back-to-back, giving it up a lot to Gunnar Lewis. Right now, Charleston's grinding. Really what I was expecting to see out of both teams, just moving downfield in quick spurts. Right now, they're really relying on Swearigan, and just throwing it out to the out route a bit. And then, they're loving Jay Taylor right now, Andy. I don't know who on the offensive side of the ball, probably the coordinator is like, you know what? I doubt they're going to see a Jay Taylor ball game, so we're going to plan for it. I got to give it up to him. I was not seeing it either, but they're making moves downfield. They're only a 1-point differential right now, and that is nothing in the simulation football league. Sioux Falls has been running the game nicely. They've just been moving downfield with a 1 quick drive, but they got to make it up and do it again if they want a substantial lead in this game.
Short break for the 2 teams. Not a lot of highlights to go through offensively. Defensively, The battle has been raging between these two teams, two of the better defenses in the league. We have the number 1 and the number 6 defense, as well as 2 good running backs, and therefore not a lot of offensive highlights, but instead a lot of grinding, a lot of grudge match here between these two teams. Levy brings the second half kickoff out. Levy still on his feet. Levy a spin, and he gets out to the 27, and good field position for Sioux Falls.
Yeah, really just pounding away on the ball right there is A.J. Levy, trying to get through the pack, the pod of workers coming for him, and just pushes his way through. Now starting at the 27 with Sioux Falls on the offensive side of the ball.
If you want to get involved in the chat, head over to twitch.tv/FTF Next. That is where everyone is chatting and excited for the second half of this slugfest. Here's the give to Wells, right up the middle. Jalen Wells picks up 3 to start this second half off.
You know, Andy, out of this game, we've been seeing a lot out of the rookies. You know, Gunnar Lewis coming out huge. Jalen Wells just being the primary running back for Sioux Falls right now, and Jay Taylor being the primary receiver for Charleston. It's a very interesting playoff game.
Both teams trying to utilize something in a different way that they haven't all year. Charleston specifically, a different receiving threat. 3-3 look out of the Predators. Give here to Colin Hart. Hart with room. Hart, ooh! Got beheaded in the secondary. Johnny Bravo lays the hit.
Yeah, we haven't been able to call his name much, but Johnny Bravo laying down an execution right there. You know, 41 total tackles on the season and 1 tackle for loss and 6 interceptions. Not someone you mess with on the corner, and he really brought Hart down right when he hit the first down marker.
I was going to say, if you are squeamish, maybe avert your eyes for the replay there as Johnny Bravo. I mean, that you can't do that in some states in the country, much less on a football field. Here's the give to Hart. Oh! Walloped again! Jack Hoffman laying the wood, and Hart slow to get up.
Definitely seems like everyone's got his number. You know, between the corners and the safeties, I think they were making bets on who could hit Hart harder in this game.
Wells actually was on the carry there up the gut, and it'll set up a 2nd and 4 here from the 43. 9.5 minutes to play. Sioux Falls grinding some clock while handing it off. Here's the give to Hart off the right, stretches it wide. Ooh, good form tackle. What a play on the outside by Caledon Holly, able to get past the block and make the tackle right at the line of scrimmage.
Both corners are just popping off right now. That was a beautiful, you know, he kind of missed the tackle first, but moved in with his arms, sweeping him on the ground.
Mike Tackett in the chat, longtime watcher, first-time commenter. Hello to you, Mike, and welcome to the playoffs. Here's the give to Wells. Wells stopped! Charleston makes the stop they need on the defensive side. It was Kent Mace.
Well, I mean, when you have the 2nd best rushing defense in the league coming out in just pure stats right now, and you got some crazy everyone, you know, corners just on the field, you can't really expect a pure running game. A one-sided, non-dynamic offensive game plan will not work against either of these teams.
Offense still on the field here at the 46. Sioux Falls is 83% on 4th down. Do they dare on their side of the field? No, they do not take the snap. 83% though, Dan, pretty good if they would have snapped it, but they do not. They decide to burn a timeout, which in this second half could be critical.
I was about to say the exact same thing. Maybe if it was the first half, I could see it. But using a timeout for something like that in the quarterfinals, and does not look like Julian Tyree was happy with that call.
These Sparrows are going to end up punting it away after trying to draw Charleston off sides. Could not make it happen, and they will send out Max Moholt to kick this one away in a very close 6-7 game. Moholt stands at his own 30-yard line on 4th and 2. Charleston will set up for the return. Lance Dulake fields it and will bring it. Little stop and go, and he will pick up 3 or 4 on the return to the 23. When we come back, T.D. Drew in the offense for Charleston out for the first time in this second half. It's a close one. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Andy Hamilton along with Dan Mitchell in the booth here today. Mikey Improda is leading the stats truck for us. Cameron Irvine behind the scenes producing each and every Simulation Football League game, including the quarterfinals. TD Drew will start this second half in the shotgun. He will throw, gonna fire on a corner route down the field, tipped up and incomplete. AJ Levy was there, and that's not the guy you want to test through the air.
No, you do not want to test someone with 45 career interceptions on their name. If he's by that ball, it may as well be gone. They got lucky with that one. And now Charleston gets to keep this drive alive.
For those viewing for the first time, what are you watching? The Simulation Football League is the world's first controllerless esport, allowing you, the viewer, to participate in all the action on the field from the comfort of your home. Visit simulation.football for more information. Here is TD Drew, gonna throw underneath, picked, intercepted by Sioux Falls. John Barnhart takes it away, his 8th pick of the year.
That right there could be the single turning event in this game. A 1-point difference isn't bad at all, definitely in the SFL, but getting it on the 30, on Charleston's 30 right there for a turnover 31 for exactness. Sioux Falls offense has the ball, and that's not where Charleston wants to be.
They did not move an inch. It would be a 47-yarder for Maxwell Falk, who has hit 94% of his kicks this year. Give to Colin Hart off this right-hand side. Hart with room, able to be dragged down there on the outside by Jack Hoffman. And when we look at these rushers in the SFL, Colin Hart, second best, and Keith Swearingen, 5th in terms of yardage.
Yeah, you know, I got two running back powerhouses right now in the league against each other with two run defense powerhouses in the league. It's a great matchup on the ground game.
Swearingen at that 5 spot, not talked about a lot, but definitely a threat for Charleston. Tyree fires on a little tight end swing route, and that is the first catch of the day made on the outside by Portis. Miles Portis getting involved.
Yeah, I think Tyree was just recognizing the pressure he was being put under right there, finding an open hand, and that gave him the first down. Now, even if Charleston goes bend but not break, it's a much closer field goal attempt.
Split backs in the backfield. Tyree, 6 of 9 today, only thrown it. This is 10th time. Gonna fire underneath, tipped up, and almost picked it, almost caught! Oh, everyone had a chance at that one. I almost caught it up here in the booth.
Oh, that was going everywhere, Andy. You know, it goes from Predator to Sioux Falls to Predator again to the ground ending up with the only successful catch right there on that play. And as you said, I think we could have had that if it was hit another time.
I like to think that I could catch a lot of passes in the SFL if I was willing to get out there on the field, but seeing some of these hits today against these backs for the Sparrows, I'm not willing to take that pressure. Here's Tyree gonna run the ball. Interesting that he carries it. Fun fact for you, Dan, Julian Tyree, the only quarterback this season with a rushing touchdown.
That is entirely true. You know, I think they keep it in their playbook just to mix it up every once in a while. He picked up 4, and that's definitely something pretty nice when you're this close to the end zone.
5 wide. This was the formation that burned Charleston earlier in the game. Corner route, fired, caught! Gunnar Lewis again! His 2nd touchdown of the day, and the Sparrows add 6.
Throwing it to the rookie, the week 5 signing right there. You know, that is some couch to field in the quarterfinals. 2 touchdowns putting your team at a more healthy lead than they were before. And, you know, 14 pending the extra point. That's an 8-point lead right there, and Sioux Falls is looking pretty good. But Charleston still has plenty of time to work with the ball.
Gunnar Lewis playing in just his 9th SFL game. Coming in, he had 8 touchdowns in 8 games, and today he has made it 10 touchdowns in 9 games. And that just goes to show you, folks, how quick you can go from couch to field and making an impact for one of these professional Simulation Football League teams. Gunnar Lewis did it. You can do it. All you have to do is head over to www.simulation.football, join our Discord community, and you can become a player. You can get in on our SFL Minor League, which starts later this month. It's never been easier to go from couch to field. Lance DeLake, the return will come out to the 24, And after that TD Drew interception, these Charleston Predators find themselves in a hole if they want to try and advance. Coming up next, Vancouver and Jacksonville. The Kings are in town to take on the Vancouver Legion. And then on Wednesday, Atlanta will take on Chicago, and Baltimore will take on Queen City. These playoffs are shaping up to be battles all around the league, and we don't want you to miss a second of it. Handoff up the middle to Swearingen, good for 2.
Yeah, Charleston has been beating feet this entire game, just trying to grind through their plays. It's worked out only for 2 field goals made for 6 points. They're really going to need a big splash touchdown to catch up quickly.
Well, and just to show you how close it is, those 2 field goals, if they were touchdowns, we would have a tie ball game right now, not the difference that we do. 4-3 look out of the Sparrows. Here is Drew, going to fire it out and tackled immediately on the outside. What a play there made by James Kelly to follow Keith Swearingen into the flat.
Another rookie, this one from the draft, though. You know, he had 4 sacks and 8 tackle for losses, make it 9. Now, rookies are making a name for themselves in this playoff game today, Andy.
Kelly and Camp, the 2 defensive ends for Sioux Falls. Here is Drew, gonna take a shot, and it's picked! Coming back the other way, Sioux Falls has it. Terrell Davis flips the field again, and the Sparrows are in great shape.
Yeah, that right there is not where you want to be. 22 interceptions before this game, now making it 24 for TD Drew. He's got to watch out when you have this star secondary in the backfield right now. You know, you got people like Terrell Davis, Jay Ringgold, and AJ Levy who are just terrifying back there, and they're making their name known today.
Davis, his 7th interception this season in his first playoff game, and that grab will set the Sparrows up here at the 31. Single back is Colin Hart. Bunch formation here to the bottom for Tyree. Gonna fire across the middle, caught. That is A.J. Warren, who is able to pick up 9.
Yeah, A.J. Warren with only 2 receptions for 36 yards between the 2 big Gunnar Lewis's play and the last scoring touchdown drive. He was the one to catch the second pass, which was a huge gain as well.
Both these quarterbacks are bottom 2 in the league in terms of pass attempts. Drew is second worst. Tyree has the least. They give to Hart. Hart stretches it out, and he gets down to the 7. Colin Hart with a big run.
Hart looking to bump up his rush touchdown numbers, which are sitting at 16 right now, as he's just gunning for that end zone right now.
And Jalen Wells leading the way with a key block there on the outside on Kaladin Holly, and it finally takes Jack Hoffman to come over and make the tackle.
Yeah, blocks are a key part in the SFL that could really make or break a running back. Got to give it up. Fullback Jalen Wells can normally run for himself, but adding as a blocker is something Colin Hart could never forget. 2
in the backfield. Single back is Tyree, takes the carry. The single back was Hart, and Tyree is down. No, he's up. Ooh, some dangerous moments for the Sparrows there. They, I'm sure at home, were sweating bullets.
That is not what you want. That is the scariest thing right now when the league is not that great.
4 wide here for Tyree. Stands in the gun. Tyree gonna throw. Pressure coming. Dropped. Sacked on the outside. Pressure was coming by Zachary Bates. His first sack of the season.
Yeah, well, if you're going to have a first sack, might as well make it the quarterfinals when you're down. That was a beautiful sack. Great blitz coming in by them.
3rd and goal from the 11. This is Charleston's chance here. 5 wide again. This is the formation that Gunnar Lewis has caught his touchdowns from. Will they look his way on 3rd and goal? Pressure coming. Fires back of the end zone. It's caught! A touchdown! And again, it's Gunnar Lewis! Hat trick for you, young fella!
Who would imagine a hat trick in the quarterfinals by a rookie wide receiver who wasn't even in the week 5 signing, coming in and just making a huge substantial lead? It'll be 15 points pending the extra point right there. Great awareness by Julian Tyree. They obviously had a great favorite receiver right now.
Foot well in bounds on that replay. I thought in full speed it might be worth a shot, but he was well in bounds, and I can't believe it, Dan. I can't believe you don't circle 81 on that formation and just cover him. Kick on the way there from Falk, is good. And Sioux Falls, after an interception, extends their lead. And with 3:26 to go in the third, it's Sparrows 21, Predators 6. Andy Hamilton along with Dan Mitchell in the booth. Mikey Improda on stats here for us live from Sioux Falls in this quarter-final game. The Sparrows up 21-6 by the hands of 2 interceptions from TD Drew today. Kick is away. Dulake will bring this out from the goal line. He will get past the 20 and spin to the 23-yard line. And, well, Dan, when you look at the pass defense the scoring defense for Charleston, best in the league, but against playoff teams, they give up 23 points per game this season.
Yeah, right now, and it's all about those turnovers. We mentioned it briefly at the beginning of this game where we thought, a 1-point turnover differential coming into this game could be a huge difference. And 2 so far by TD Drew has been the unmaking of Charleston.
Here's the give up the middle to Swearingen, not abandoning the run. Levy will bring him down after 6. And for this Charleston team, Dan, this season they played 5 games against playoff opponents. They went 3-2, and they went 2-4 overall this year on the road. But one of those 2 victories was against this Sioux Falls team in Week 5.
Yeah, and it seems like Sioux Falls really learned from that and is taking that lesson to heart in this quarterfinal game.
The first of 2 rematches. Next up, Vancouver and Jacksonville. Here's the give. Swearingen has the first down, and I like this not abandoning the run mode by Charleston.
Definitely. When you have Keith Swearingen in the backfield, you can't forget about him. He does get unmentioned and, kind of underrated in the league overall, but he is a great halfback who can move downfield. I think he gets a good breakaway and then get really put back in this ballgame.
3-4 look out of Sioux Falls. They've been running the 3-4 and the 4-3 against these run defenses. Here's the give to Swearingen off this left-hand side. He will pick up 3, not really built as a outside of the tackles back, but that one worked for some yards.
Yeah, he got a quick block early on in the development of the play and picked up 3, which isn't the best, but, picking up something when he could have been tackled in the backfield is always better. 2nd and 7, I think they at least do get a few passes out there. Don't get scared just because of 2 interceptions out there.
Believe it or not, still a 2-score game here for Charleston. The lead is 15 for the Sparrows, and Swearingen brought down underneath. A big play there made on the defensive side, and it will set up 3rd and 8.
Yeah, and I just want to point out right now, just the linebackers for Sioux Falls have 17 tackles. They've been the primary tackler in this game, just reading Swearingen whenever he tries to get out.
Drew completing 65% of his passes, just over 100 yards, but does have the 2 picks. Gonna fire. Taylor dropped it! Jay Taylor had a first down, and for as sensational as he has been all day, that might have been the biggest play of the game for Jay Taylor.
That right there could have been a game changer, and it still could be because he dropped it. He is still a rookie. First playoff game. I bet there are plenty of just nervous wrecks and nervousness going through his body right now, but that is not where you want it, and now they're going to punt it away.
Taylor, the 5th pick in the rookie draft this last season, in his first playoff game, has made some big plays, but made a big drop there, and Sioux Falls will get the ball back here. Levy going the wrong way, and he's brought down at the 26. They'll give him forward movement, but still not the direction you want to be going on a return.
I think he had a concussion, Andy. He looked like he was going for the other side on purpose after a certain point. It was wild.
And that will set up this Sioux Falls offense. They have benefited from great field position on their last 2 drives. And now they will start at their own 26, back on their side of the field for one of the first times this half. They flip it out to Colin Hart. Hart will be strung out and brought down at the 30. Tackle made there by Johnny Bravo.
You've seen the stats right there. Julian Tyree only has 125 yards, which is good, but nothing sensational, but 3 touchdowns as they've just been able to move downfield. TD Drew with only 95. Biggest difference right now for Julian Tyree is being cool under pressure and finding all his targets, even the odder ones that are generic players and or just Colin Hart checking it out in the backfield.
5 wide for Tyree in the gun. 3-2 look out of Charleston. They look like they might bring some pressure. They do. Late pressure coming. Fires underneath. Caught. First down to the 38. These 5 and 4 wide sets have been killing this Predators defense.
I think it's worked out every single time they run it. They've run it about 6-7 times so far in this game, and they've been picking up yards, a good chunk or a touchdown each and every time.
Twins to the top of the formation. 3-3 look out of Sioux Falls. They will give on a power play to Hart. Hart wrapped up and dropped at the 40-yard line. And if you want to follow the SFL on social media, we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at SimulationFL. You can catch content like The Kramer Show and game highlights on our YouTube page. You got to make sure you don't miss any of the action when we're not on TV. Speaking of being on TV, that will take us to the end of the third quarter. We will take a TV timeout and be right back. It's the Simulation Football League quarterfinal. Get your 4s up in the chat. Charleston Predators against the Sioux Falls Sparrows here in South Dakota. 4s are up in the twitch.tv/FTF Next chat. If you want to get involved, let us know in that chat that it's your first game, and we'll say hello to you live on air. 2 back in the backfield. They give up the middle. Swallowed whole is Jalen Wells. Predators were there, and they brought him down.
And Jeff Hollywood right there, defensive end, just putting a stop to him. Another 3rd and 7. They have to watch out, though. Sioux Falls has been loving these deeper plays and force them into a long pass, maybe exactly what they want.
4 wide shotgun look here for Tyree. They've converted quite a few from this and one other formation. All slants play. Gonna fire. Tipped up and picked! Charleston takes it away! The interception is made by Josh Reese, his 11th of the season and his 2nd this year against the Sparrows.
That's what they needed. Josh Reese also had the interception in their last meeting, as you just said, Andy, and they ended up with the win. So we have to see, can they pull it back out now as they start on Sioux Falls 40? That's exactly what Charleston needed.
This Charleston team is 5-3 when Josh Reese has an interception in a game. They're going to have to climb the mountain in order to get back into this one. But it all starts here at the 40. Not yet in range. They'll give to Swearingen. Swallowed up right up the middle. Alex Parker was there.
Well, they could use any points they could use right now, Andy. I think a touchdown is in the calling, even foregoing possibly points. Not really, but definitely would consider it. And moving downfield as they're at the 42nd and 9.
Single back, 3-4 look out of the Sparrows. Charleston continues to run the football down by 15. Here's the give to Swearingen. Angles his way forward. He'll pick up another yard. And they might be, whether it's trying to protect TD Drew or trying to get Swearingen more involved, either way, on this play, this drive, it hasn't worked.
Yeah, they definitely need to pass, and they're forced to pass now on the 3rd and 8.
We'll set them up here. Shotgun look 3 wide. Maybe that corner route to Simons is there this time. Here is the throw from Drew. Gonna fire backside. Caught! Oh, hauled in by Ken Maccaro. The magic man at the 17 moves the chains for the Predators.
Ken Maccaro had 7 yards for 2 passes right now, and a huge difference as you see The quick double stop slant out of him heading for the outside. They keep the driver alive, and now they're at Sioux Falls 17.
Knocking on the door. A touchdown would really make this game close. And Drew will give the Swearingen, and Sioux Falls has seen that play all day. James Kelly in there immediately to make the hit.
They have his name, they have his number, they have his social security number, Andy. They brought him down immediately in the backfield.
I am going to call Commissioner Cameron Irvine. If they have all that information on him, we have to have some different conversations about how Sioux Falls' scouting department is doing. Here's the throw. Drew dropped in the backfield right away. Coming in was James Kelly again.
You better make that call, Andy, because I think they have TD Drew's number 2. I think they stole his W2. You know, tax season right around. They got some interesting information, more than they should have.
Cameron Irvine, I have concerns. We need to speak. Please contact me after the game. Here is Drew on 3rd and 15. Checks underneath. Caught Simons! Oh, right at the right time, and they're down to the 1 with 8:05 to go in the 4th.
All right, Andy, 8:05. They're at the 1. You know, this is peak Swearingen material right now. They got to just punch it in, move it, kick it away, get a quick stop on Sioux Falls if they want to stay alive. You know, 7 points right now would put them at 13. 13 means they're 8 points down. 8 points is an interesting place to be. Definitely if they do get that touchdown, because they're 2 points away, they have to make a conversion.
Definitely would put this game back in the realm of possible for the Predators. Single back in the backfield is Swearingen. They will give to Swearingen up the middle, and he is dropped! Sioux Falls was there immediately. Alex Parker read that one and drops him at the 1.
Alex Parker's 8th tackle, most tackles out of any defensive player right now in this game. The inside linebacker is making moves throughout this entire quarterfinal game.
4 wide here for Charleston. Drew has Swearingen in the backfield. 3-4 look out of the Sparrows. Handoff Swearingen. No, not today. These Sparrows are locking down.
The most bend, but no break right now coming out of Sioux Falls. 3rd and goal on their own 1. They're trying to hold up. And, you know, you're getting to the territory. Are they going to go for it if they get stopped again?
Shotgun look here. Drew has Swearingen sidecar left. Both tight ends on the field. TD Drew, low snap will throw. Unloads to Swearingen. Swearingen goes backwards, and he will not get there. He is denied at the 4-yard line. The Sparrows defense rallies, and for the Predators, it's decision time.
He pulled back, Andy. He pulled back. Why? But no, as you said, do they go for it? Easy chip shot if they want Fernanda Moyer. And
Moyer
it seems like they're pulling her out.
They will try and cut into the lead, and you just have to feel like that is the wrong call. Although, if you had 3 attempts from the 1, and you could not convert that into points, who's to say you could get it on 4th down? Kick on the way. It is good. Charleston converts the turnover into points. Now they got to play defense. It's the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports. The quarterfinal will be right back. After the Amanda Moyer field goal, the lead is 11. And Dan, we did the math at the break because I'm not good at quick math, but that 11 points is still 2 possessions. Why take the field goal there instead of, trying to get the touchdown and possibly, even if you don't get it, you pin Sioux Falls at the 4. It's 2 possessions either way.
You're right, Andy. Your math is bad because it's 12, and yeah, it's still 2 possessions though. It makes very little difference. The only difference I could possibly see is some 3D chess going on where they don't have to go for the extra 2 points. But I mean, really, that's not a huge difference when we still have to make it to the end zone twice.
12 is even worse than 11, believe it or not. So I was trying to help Charleston there. Here's the handoff to Wells up the middle. Wells grinds forward for 6, one of the better carries out of him. Wells actually has the 3rd most carries in the league for fullbacks, and after this week, it probably is going to climb.
Yeah, they've been really trusting Wells, throughout the whole season, and he's been doing a good job too. And very much in this game, I think they were trying to change it up so Charleston would have to watch both Colin Hart and Julian Wells.
With under 6 minutes to go here in the 4th, this drive is very important. Charleston needs to get off the field quickly. Wells dropped at the 27. A 3rd down is just what Charleston ordered.
Yeah, 3rd and 3, interesting place to be. Personally, I would hate to be at this spot. 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4 is a very interesting spot, depending how much you trust your halfback versus if you want to go for the passes. They're setting up for, 3 wide?
3 wide with 1 in the backfield. Hart, they will throw. Here is Tyree, sidearm underneath, caught. That's 1st down yardage to the 40. Catch made there, and that will move the chains.
And guess who it was? Gunnar Lewis. All over again. He's been the real, just beating hammer on Charleston's line the entire game. Multiple hat trick touchdowns, just pounding the 1st downs. He's been a huge, huge playmaker for Sioux Falls.
And every time Sioux Falls just picks up 10, the clock continues to roll. Handoff to Hart. Hart cut down at the 32. A 1-yard run for Colin Hart.
Yeah, I don't think Sioux Falls is too angry about it either. They are just killing clock with these running back plays, just letting it run down. Charleston's not tapping into their timeouts yet as it's a bit early, but with 2-score deficit, they need to get it back fast. Turnovers may be in order.
They need the ball as quick as possible as we tick down to 4.5 minutes to go. These Sparrows, experts at eliminating time on the clock. 2nd and 9. Here's the give up the middle to Wells. Dropped right at the line, and I would almost consider using a timeout now.
Yeah, 3rd and 8 right now, but it's going to set Sioux Falls up for a 3rd and long, which has been burning Charleston almost this entire game. Definitely if they set up for that 5 wide again, where Charleston's been known to blitz it right now, which leaves them wide open in the backfield.
They will have the 2-minute warning, which will stop the clock, but for now, it'll be 3rd and 8, and the time will roll. Now under 4 minutes to go in the game. Tyree under center, letting all the time off the clock that he can. Charleston showing blitz. Will they bring it? Out of a 4-2, they do. Handoff Hart, right side. Hart, 1 man to beat, and he cannot. And the Charleston defense will get a stop. Josh Reese is there, a playmaker for the Predators.
He had the interception, giving them the 3 points. I bet he's not happy with them not scoring a touchdown right now. But he makes another stop for Charleston, and they're going to have to move fast now after this punt.
And Dan, why not call a timeout here? The clock is still rolling.
They're just leaving the hand in Sioux Falls right now. Feeding that bird with all the breadcrumbs.
Well, and with the way that secondary has played for the Sparrows, you cannot trust T.D. Drew in a deep situation where he has to throw. Snap is back. Kick on the way. Dulake will field this one and bring it back, and he will get a couple yards out to the 35. We'll step aside and be right back. 2:56 to go, and a 12-point deficit. It's the SFL on 11 Sports and for the fans. Sioux Falls, South Dakota, the site of today's game. Just under 3 minutes to go in the game. It's time to put it all on the line. The loser in this game will go home. Their 14th season in the SFL will be done. The winner continues on to the semifinals. TD Drew fires out to Swearingen on this left side. He cannot get through the first tackle, and now they'll go hurry up.
And then maybe the play, they got to move, and they got to move quick.
Two receivers wide. Drew out to Swearingen again. No way! Fargo's there. 3rd and 8. This has got to be the play. Offset to the left is Swearingen. Drew going to fire on a crossing route, incomplete. The receivers almost look confused on that one, Dan.
It hit the back of Ken McCarr right there. Neither of them were ready and looking at TD Drew, making eye contact for that route. Neither of them were prepared. That was just kind of a waste of a throw. 4th and 8, they kind of have to go for it.
Gotta go for this one. Need this one. 2 tight ends on the field. Swearingen the single back. 2 receivers wide and a 3-4 look for the Sioux Falls Sparrows. Drew will take a 7-step drop. Fires underneath. Caught by Taylor, but he's short. Sioux Falls rallies and makes the tackle. And the Sparrows get the turnover on downs.
He throws it to the tight end slant down the middle, and you gotta kind of question that just play calling in general, as you know he had almost 0 chance of making that first down. Now you have a turnover again, and Sioux Falls has the ball on Charleston's 43.
Just need 1 snap to take us to the 2-minute warning, and a first down would effectively end this football game. 3-3 look out of the Predators. 2 backs in the backfield. Wells flanking Colin Hart. They give to Hart off the left side on a power. Colin Hart, first down! He picks up the first down, and he's down to the 27, and Sioux Falls can run the clock out and finish this game.
Yeah, Charleston will probably use their timeouts, though. And, my math is not that good.
Inside a field goal range, the field goal would make it still a even more difficult
15.
2-score game. 2-minute warning is up, and Charleston finds themselves in a hole. They will try and get out of it, but Sioux Falls feels as if they might have this one in hand. We'll be right back on 11 Sports and For the Fans. Back here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. It'll be 15 if Sioux Falls doesn't move an inch from here. They would send on Falk to attempt a long field goal. Offsides will give 5 more yards and a first down to Charleston. That is the last thing you wanted if you are the Predators.
Yeah, and a great backfield tackle. May have been too slightly false, but, you know, yeah, it is. Not where you want to be.
That offsides will move the chains for Sioux Falls, and after being eliminated in Season 12 by Denver, you got to imagine that being up by 12 and in field goal range feels really good for Jason McGee and A.J. Levy and this whole Sioux Falls team.
Yeah, this is a very comfortable place to be. It is pretty much guaranteed you have this game in hand as long as nothing craziness happens. And you'd be feeling good because it was a very well-played game by Sioux Falls.
2 backs in a split-back formation for the Sparrows. They give up the middle to Wells. He is dropped right there at the 22, and Charleston takes their first timeout.
Yeah, expect to burn them through all 3 right now. You know, they'll put them their 2nd and 5. And don't forget, next up at 5 o'clock Eastern is Jacksonville at Vancouver, the other quarterfinal game of today.
The home teams have won every game so far in these Simulation Football League playoffs, both wild card games and now this quarterfinal game. Vancouver with the first home playoff game at Canada Field will try and continue the record against a very feisty Jacksonville Kings team. That carry stopped at the 22 and another timeout by Charleston.
Yeah, one timeout left right now for Charleston. 3rd and 5. Expect to see a field goal attempt out of Sioux Falls if they do not move up and make the first down.
4-2 nickel look out of the Predators. And Sioux Falls lines up with 2 in the backfield. That receiver tight end. They give to Wells. Wells does not get the first down. Down at the 19, and with a minute 47, Charleston out of timeouts.
Yeah, Charleston burning their last time out. If the Sioux Falls goes for the field goal and makes it, that will make it a 15-point deficit by Charleston, which is still a 2-score-ish, depending on how they work around making points.
Do have Amanda Moyer, so I guess the onside kick is not impossible. It just is something they would definitely have to attempt at this point in the game, and they would have to get down the field in a hurry. Snap back for Falk. Kick on the way, and 15 is the deficit. Falk adds the field goal from 36. Now 24, excuse me. Math again. 24-9, Sioux Falls on top.
Been your bane today, but yeah, 15, so they got to make it down. Normal touchdown, normal extra point, onside most likely, get it again, and then score a 2-point conversion just to tie up this game.
TD Drew, 23 of 33 today for 149 yards, no touchdowns, 2 picks. These Charleston Predators have struggled finding the end zone and instead have been plagued by drops and turnovers. Here is Lance Dulake on the return. He's out to the 27, good starting position.
Yeah, give it up for the Sioux Falls red zone defense right now. Almost every single one of these field goals should have been a touchdown. Definitely the most recent one, as they were stopped at the 1. It's been great overall defense by Sioux Falls, who's been showing up as the superior game planner right now.
Sparrows have played 7 playoff teams this season. This the 8th game. They are 3-4 against those playoff teams, trying to get to 500. And a big sack there coming from James Kelly. Just his 6th of the season.
Throwing back Charleston to 2nd and 19 with a beautiful sack right there.
Drew, 7-step drop again. Checks down to Swearingen to get some of those yards back. And Swearingen will go out of bounds at the 26 to temporarily stop the clock.
Swearingen almost making up for the sack. Not nearly enough, though, as he's 1 off. And now they're just trying to make up for what they lost and haven't even gained anything.
They've actually lost 1 yard still. They started at the 27. It'll be 3rd and 11 when they snap the ball. The clock will roll from 1:18. Shotgun for TD Drew. He will throw. Gonna fire the deep ball down the field, and Sioux Falls makes the deflection. Terrell Davis has been there all day, and on 3rd and long, he was there again.
I swear he was gonna have another one, Andy. It was very close and in his hands, almost guaranteed. 4th and 11. Charleston sort of just has to go for it, even though it's not where you want to be. 3rd or 4th, my bad, and extra long.
If you are the Charleston Predators, you got to call your best passing play right now. 4th and 11 from their own 26. Free play here. Oh, TD Drew avoids the pressure. Caught down the middle. Hauled it at the 47-yard line by Buchanan Simons. How did TD Drew do that?
Just a sidestep right there, Andy. You know, finding an open man, not worrying about the offsides, giving them a free play. And there you go. That's what they need, even just to stay alive at this moment. They may not be a fish and they may breathe oxygen, but they cannot stay on land for long.
Wow! James Kelly dives at Drew to end the game, and Drew ducks under it as if it's a calm, routine play in practice, then finds Simons across the middle for the first down. There's a look at Kelly's numbers today. He has had quite the game. 2 wide, 2 tight ends, all the star players for this offense on the field. Swearingen alone back. Here is Drew. Pumps once, fires underneath the Taylor. Caught. Time moving at the 48.
I don't have timeout, so I got to move fast, Andy. Nothing short.
2 wide, 3-4 look out of Sioux Falls. 7-step drop for Drew. Checks down to Swearingen, and it's actually better that he dropped that.
Yeah, no, that was, in a weird turn of events, the drop at least stopped the clock because he would have not gone anywhere with the defenders just steam rushing to him.
Chance to re-huddle, and I don't remember a time for any SFL team where they've got to huddle this many times with no timeouts in a 2-minute situation. But time ticking off, also very important for this Charleston team. Shotgun snap to Drew. Gonna fire the out route there, is incomplete. Was trying to find Ken Maccaro on the outside.
Ken Maccaro just barely stepping out. No tap dance lessons for him as he's got no toe drag swag. Now they're 4th and 5, another 4th down scenario. That's not where you want to be, as any turnover will end this game for you.
48 seconds left in this ball game. Sioux Falls needs one play to secure their spot in the next round of the SFL playoffs, and this play right here could decide it. Shotgun look for Drew. Swearingen, sidecar right. Drew to fire. Fires across the middle. Picked! Intercepted by John Barnhart, and Sioux Falls is going to keep their season alive and move on.
Well, if there was an appropriate way to end this game, Andy, I do believe that is one of the obvious ways. This game, Sioux Falls has been living off these interceptions, scoring all the points, almost all of them off interception drives. So to end it like it is very, very fitting. Sioux Falls keeping a very stable 24-9, 15-point lead. Three of their touchdowns off interception, one off just a very good, quick drive.
His second interception of the game, 9th on the season for John Barnhart, will secure this Sioux Falls victory here at home and send the 9-4 Sioux Falls Sparrows on in the playoffs. Remember, next we have Vancouver and Jacksonville live from Vancouver, British Columbia. That will take place at 5 o'clock Eastern. That's nearly 20 minutes from now, just a little bit over that, so don't go anywhere. You want to stay glued to 11 Sports or For the Fans. And Dan, from the start, Sioux Falls and Charleston's defense clashed, and at the end of the day, this Sioux Falls defense only gives up 3 field goals, and they secure the win.
And that we said at the very beginning of this game, Andy, it would be a defensive game, and this game was decided singularly by the defense. Offensive side of the ball, Charleston only scoring 9 points off field goals. They could not push it into the end zone. That is their biggest loss right now. They were very close to having a very close ball game, but every single time they were near the end zone, it was just smashed into nothingness. Sioux Falls having a huge offensive drive in the beginning for their touchdown, and then, interceptions just setting up from beautiful field position. That was just easy on them. Their 5-wide, 4-wide sets for them was burning Charleston. Charleston was showing blitz every time during those sets, just leaving the backfield open for Sioux Falls to mess with. Gunnar Lewis, if we want to talk about anyone in this game, the hat-trick Week 5 signing rookie is someone to talk about on the offensive side of the ball for Sioux Falls. He was just an open target every single time. Colin Hart doing his job with 80 rushing yards, just pulling up when he needed to be. The veteran not really, taking any away a limelight, but he knew what he had to do. Julian Tyree doing a great job just finding open areas, only throwing 1 interception off a tip too, so it's not the worst interception in the world, but throw it up for the Sioux Falls defense, every single one of them being a huge impact player in this game. The linebackers being massive, as I mentioned earlier. Alex Parker, Jose Fuentes, and Nick Fargo all having tackles every single time Keith Swearingen was handed the ball. Don't forget about Terrell Davis with the interception and John Barnhart with 2, the last one to end the game. Overall, great job.
Well, and for Charleston, an incredible season for them. 8-4, falling short in this first round, but quite the season from the Predators. Plenty to build on as they move forward. A lot of young players on that team playing in their first playoff game. I have a feeling here, Dan, that they will be a threat moving forward. For Sioux Falls, the player of the game in this game is absolutely Gunnar Lewis. 3 touchdowns on only 5 catches. He only needed 70 yards. It got the job done for the Sparrows. For Andy Hamilton, we also have Dan Mitchell with me today. Cameron Irvine produces all the games. and Mikey Improda on stats. That is all for us this season. We want to thank everyone for viewing, and stay tuned at 5 Eastern. Vancouver will take on Jacksonville, and we'll see you Wednesday night for 2 more quarterfinal games. It is going to get crazy here in the Simulation Football League. Dan, thanks for coming.
Thank you, Andy. Have a great one.